Hi, in this video I'm going to cover how to do a chi-squared test using Excel. So a chi-squared test is used to understand relationships between categories. You can see here in the Wikipedia description here, written as this chi-squared. It's a statistical hypothesis test where the sampling distribution of a test statistic is a chi-squared distribution when the null hypothesis is true. And they kind of explain it a little bit more here, saying it's used to determine whether there is a significant difference between an expected frequency and an observed frequency in one or more categories. So to basically say it a little bit more easier is that we're looking at what is observed and what's expected, so actual versus expected, and see if there is a discrepancy. What we actually observed, does it fall in line with what is expected? A very common example is you roll a six-headed dice. It's got from 1 to 6 on it. If it's a fair die, you'll expect each number to come out 1 over 6 times. And if it's a loaded dice, if it's not a fair dice, then it will maybe come up on 5s more frequently than other numbers. And you can use that. You can use a chi-square test to test that. Now, this is something where the values are the frequency of events. It's something that could be counted. We're looking at whole numbers. We're not looking at things that are continuous variables like height or weight. So there are many different types or examples of chi-square tests. You can see here, there's the Fisher's exact, there's the binomial. That I will cover in a different video, the binomial test. But the one that I will cover here in this video is the goodness of fit, where it determines whether the observed frequency fits a specified distribution. This is similar to the die example. You have a fair die, 1 out of 6 probability for each number. And the other example I'll cover is the test for independence, where we're determining whether there is a relationship between two variables. And in this particular example, you usually see the use of what's called a contingency table. Very similar to a cross-tab table, cross-tabulated table, or in the Excel's world, you can think about it as a pivot table in a way. So let's cover the goodness of fit example first. So this goodness of fit example here, let's say that we have these terms, fall, winter, spring, summer, and this is an art studio, and they're looking at enrollment. And so they see this enrollment here and have for a total of 200 students. And this are the percentage breakdowns of the 200 here, right? Through historical analysis, they actually may be running this art studio or this art class for a couple years or whatnot, and these are the expected values that they see for these different terms. And based on these percentages, if we do 30% of 200, we get 60. 15 out of 200, we get 30, etc. So what we want to see is our actual enrollment or observed enrollment, does it fall in line with the expected enrollment? So here when we set up the hypothesis, our null hypothesis is saying there's no difference between the observed and expected. It all kind of falls in line. The alternate hypothesis says there's a significant difference. There's something funny in the observed numbers. And we're going to use a significance level of 0.05. So to perform this, we actually have to do the calculations for observed, the expected enrollment, the observed minus the expected, and square that and over the expected. That's how we're going to get our chi-squared test statistics. If we wanted to get the test statistic, we have to do this. So how do we get it? So we have our observed enrollment. This is our actual, Control C, and then Control V to paste. I'll just paste those as values just in case I made any calculations. Control C to copy that, Control V to paste as values. Otherwise, it does something funky because that's a formula. And I will say equals the observed minus my expected, press enter, and that says false because I put an equal sign. Let's make that minus. And let's bring it down. Double click the fill handle to bring that calculation down. And now what I want to do is take that value, square it, and divide it by E. So I'm going to take this value, square it, and divide it by the expected enrollment. 1.0667, double click the fill handle to bring that down, And the chi-square test statistic is basically a sum of all that. So I'll just put sum, press tab to open it up, select that, and I have my chi-square test statistics of 9.06. Now we need to find out if that is over or under based on our 0.05 significance level. First, I need to find out my degrees of freedom. And the degrees of freedom is basically your number of variables minus 1. So we have 4 variables here, and we're just going to minus 1. And 4 minus 1 is 3. So that's 3 here. So to find out our particular significance level, I'm going to use the chi-squared INVRT function. So that's chi-squared INVRT squared. It's going to ask for the probability. So probability is 0.05. That's my significance level. What's my degrees of freedom? That's 3. Press enter. And that is my chi-squared test statistics for my 0.05 significance level. We can see that our chi-squared test statistics of my actual versus observed is 9. So we're going to say that's kind of fishy. So we reject the null hypothesis, and these values support the alternative hypothesis. There is a significant difference between the observed and expected value. Another way to look at this is look at the chi-squared distribution.rt right tail command or function. So I will use chi-squared distribution right tail, and x is my chi-squared test statistic. My degrees of freedom is 3. Press enter, and it's 0.0284. 0.0284 is under 0.05. So if it's under 0.05, we will reject the null hypothesis. So that's saying that too. So if we look at a chi-squared table, we'll have to compare it and take a look and see what the value is. So if we look at the degrees of freedom, we have 3. Just remember that we have our 0.05 significance level. Let's go to a table. Let's bring out this table here. So we had our degrees of freedom, which was 3, and we had a 0.05 significance level. You can see that we have our chi test statistic of 7.815, which is the same here, 7.8147, but if we round it off, it's 7.15. And we know that our test statistic is greater than that. So you can see here, looking at this particular function, it brings back the same value as looking at the table. And that's our example for the goodness of fit for a chi-square test. Now, if we want to do the second one, the test for independence, let's go to this tab here. So here we are in our test for independence. I mentioned before, you'll probably see a contingency table with this type of chi-square test. And a contingency table is similar to a crosstab. We've got our variables in rows and also columns, and we need to total those up here. So you can see these are the totals for the row, and these are the totals. This is like the total for the column, and we have our total here. It's going to match the summation of the row totals and also the column totals, right? So what we need to do here is look and find out what is our expected value for this set of data. To find out the expected value for the set of data, what we need to do is we need to multiply the totals that for that particular crosstab, men, Democrats, the totals. So we have the total for the Democrats, the total for the men, and divided by the total of everything. So we'll just have the total of this. Let me put this in parentheses. That total multiplied by the men total and divided by that total. Press enter. Do the same for women. We have the Democrat total multiplied by the women total divided by the big sum total. Same thing for Republican equals, this will be the total for Republicans multiplied by the total for men divided by that total. And the last one is going to be equals the total for Republican multiply the totals for women divided by the grand total here. And that's how we get our expected values. Now we're going to perform this formula here. I can actually select everything here. I selected that first box there, and I'll fill out this formula here based on the values of observed and expected table, and just use a keyboard combination to kind of populate that formula throughout the rest of the cells here. It's kind of nice. Excel's kind of nice that it'll figure out the references of cells to reflect that. So I'll type equals O, let me open up the parentheses first. The observed minus the expected, close parentheses, squared to 2, and then divided by the expected. Now I'm going to do Control Enter. It's going to populate this formula and all the other, and kind of adjust the reference cells for that calculation throughout the rest of the cells. Control Enter, and you can see that it's done that. So if I click down here, and you notice, if I click up here, it referenced the other cells. So that's kind of nice that Excel did that. Press Escape. Now I need to figure out the test statistic. That's basically just the sum, I press Tab, of all of this here. Close parentheses, press Enter, and it's 147. Now, the degrees of freedom from a contingency table, I need to have the number of rows minus 1 multiplied by the number of columns minus 1. Number of rows is 2, number of columns is 2, right? And so that's pretty easy, right? That's 2 minus 1. When you think about it, I could have just done, I don't need to really do this, but let's just go through this exercise. 2 minus 1 times 2 minus 1. Of course, that gives us 1. Now, we're going to find out the chi-squared test statistic, and we're going to use the chi-squared inv.rt, right tail. What is our probability that we are looking at? We're looking at a significance level is 0.05. Our degrees of freedom is 1. Press Enter, and we have 3.84. And if we went to our chi distribution table that we saw earlier, we're going to look at degrees of freedom 1, 0.05. Degrees of freedom 1, 0.05 is 3.841. So it is the same. And this is telling us that this value, our chi-squared test statistic 147, is way, way above 3.8. So it does not support the null hypothesis. It supports the alternative hypothesis, which says there is a significant difference between the observed and expected values. There's something fishy in these numbers. Of course, we can also go through the exercise of doing the chi-squared distribution right tail function, and we have that available to us for us right here. What is x? Our chi-squared test statistics, our degree of freedom 1, and press Enter, and this number is way, way, way below 0.05, and so we are going to reject the null hypothesis there. So here are two examples of the chi-squared test statistic using the goodness of fit example here and our test for independence here. So I hope that helps. Thanks for watching.